Hello, friends, and welcome to a very special Halloween edition of Dragon Age Ascension. That is Dragon Age Season 3. Ooh, that's right. As of this recording, it is currently the week just before Halloween, and some of you might be wondering why you cannot see anyone's faces right now. Well, if you've been to any of my other campaigns, you will know that as tradition, we try to do a quote-unquote Halloween session where all of the players dress up traditionally as their characters, and not only because it's for funsies, but also because at the end of this, the people who the players choose as the best costumes will gain extra XP, extra bonus XP. So, I was telling everybody, well, not everybody, but I was telling Ethan and Dominic that I will laugh hysterically if Sam dressed up as a lawyer today to make up for the fact that he wasn't a lawyer last time.
Oh, yeah, that would be a good one. Maybe
it's worth for me because I've already ruined the costume.
Oh no. But yeah, just because I thought that would be kind of fitting. But anyway, we're going to instead of doing like a full-on warm-up, we're going to reveal to each other everybody's costumes. So, is there any volunteers as who would like to reveal their costume first?
I could go. Okay.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, yeah.
So I gotta stand up.
Yeah, show us.
Nice.
You know, very, very medieval with all the leather belts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you just make that for this, or have you had that for a while?
Oh, so the cloak, I had a friend make it for me when I was in high school, so, middle school, so, very old cloak. But this is pretty new. I didn't make it, though, so I'm not crafty enough at this point.
Did you buy it then from somewhere, like Etsy or?
Yeah. From
Etsy?
Etsy specifically. Yeah.
I love it. And I don't know if you did this on purpose, but I feel like it looks very similar to the robe that your dad wears in the picture. I feel like.
I have to go back and look at the picture now.
So, okay, well, maybe that wasn't intentional, but yeah, it looks like you're wearing David Faust's cloak.
Oh yeah, very, very similar, yeah.
So, yeah, you planned it the whole...
Yeah, that was my big brain move.
Very cool.
I really like that outfit, Sam.
Yeah, Sam, you look adorable. Very cool. Who would like to go next?
I'll go next. I'll pop in next. Okay, 3, 2.
Oh.
Hey.
The glasses also because
And you've got like scars and stuff. Oh.
Yeah, I got a little bit of marks on my face. I went full bandage. I also got like a cloak and a medical bag here with a couple of bandages in there. They can be seen.
I love the props.
So I also got. I'm probably gonna use this as my short sword. So
Nice.
a little bit of a stabbing weapon to use. I don't have an actual sniper rifle, but I will be using this long stick
As your
to
sniper rifle.
represent.
And do you have some butter knives for your throwing knives?
No, I don't have any throwing knives. Unfortunately, if I had,
run to the
I
kitchen.
would have used. I'd go to the kitchen. I would, but they're actual knives.
Yeah.
It hurts. So.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but I tried to recreate as much as a Tyrion like picture as.
Yeah.
So I have the kind of mark of like I have the strap for like the medical bag.
Yeah.
A little bit of the bandages, the shirt. So.
And your headphones are clearly covering your pointed ears.
Yes.
Yes, clearly, yes. And I have to put my glasses on because otherwise I will not be seeing crap.
That is fine.
That is fair.
I was gonna say, with all the straps, Ethan, you also kind of remind me of a Jedi.
I'm not.
Something.
Yeah, I'm not too worthy to be a Jedi. I'm not worthy for it.
But you got force heal.
That's
Yeah.
I got
You
normal
got med
healing,
pack.
but-
You got med packs, you know. That's what they
Yes.
call,
Yeah,
right?
true. Yeah, I'll just be spamming medpacks, but anyway, yeah,
Great.
that's me.
Great job, Skull. Awesome. All right, who would like to go next?
I volunteer as tribute.
All right, let's take a
Okay,
look.
so I didn't dress up as Pasha because
Okay.
I didn't feel comfortable doing that.
That's
So
fine.
instead,
Oh.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
I need to show you this.
Oh.
I can't breathe.
Oh my goodness.
Heyo.
I can't sit down at all, comfortably at least. I have the
Ouch.
best posture right now.
The best posture.
I have to ask though, Callista, where did you get the head thing?
Yeah.
The head thing?
Oh, the
Oh,
moon.
this.
Yeah.
I just got it off not eBay, Amazon. I was just like, head chains. That seems like something Queen Antonia would wear. I will
love
have that.
it.
I like the hair
Nice.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
nice,
Good.
nice coloring.
Is that a wig or is it your natural hair?
It's a wig.
Okay.
I thought so.
The struggle was real getting this thing on without ruining the makeup.
Oh.
I love it.
Ouch.
I feel that.
I totally see Queen Antonia. When you first reviewed yourself, I originally was thinking Violetta as well. Princess Violetta. 'Cause-
Yeah.
I was gonna be Narika because I collect masks, specifically Columbina masks, which are the ones that cover the eyes. But I remembered that I had this top, and I was like, oh no, Queen Antonia calls.
I love it.
I've been
Sweet.
summoned by Her Majesty.
Yes. Thank you, Callista. Who would like to go next?
I'll go. Alright, let's get ready for the Warrior.
Okay. Oh my
Whoa!
gosh!
Holy shit!
Oh
I had to do
my-
makeup for 2 hours of hails for this, so you're welcome.
Oh my gosh, Tommy! You even,
Holy
I was
shit,
gonna
man.
Say, you even got your hands. That's amazing.
Yep. If you're gonna go all the way, go all the way.
Oh my
I like
god.
the head as well.
Yeah, how'd you get the horns?
Oh, these are Etsy purchases. I just ordered like 2 cast horns, and they came in the mail, and they happened to work with the wig, so I was like, there we go.
Oh,
Nice.
I think you got me beat, Tommy. I think you got me beat.
And I actually am dressed head from toe. If you guys want me a catwalk.
yeah. Could you stand up? Could you stand? I want to see the whole.
Do it.
Dude.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh, that's
Yes!
amazing.
Spin!
Yes.
Oh,
I love it. Oh
yeah.
my
Yes!
All you
God.
need is the hammer.
Yes. Yes.
I concede. I concede.
Oh my gosh, I especially really love the horns that go down, the curved horns that go down.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out the best way to do Russo's 4 horns, and I figured it'd just be best to go from the side like that, so I could still do the elf ears.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How about
Oh,
the
man.
jacket? I also love the red jacket.
This is my Devil May Cry jacket that I've been lusting after for like 4 years, and I finally bought it this year.
Oh, great use for it. And the Hufflepuff tie, which is what Russo
Yep.
wears. Yes, Russo does have a Hufflepuff tie. That's awesome. Cool. All right. Last but not least, Dominic.
Though definitely second. Definitely inferior.
But no,
That's
Because congratulations, Tommy. You got me beat. At least in my opinion. But anyway.
yeah. Well, let's take a look. Oh, we can see.
Oh,
We can
hold
see you
on.
down.
He's got the good. He's got the
All
hood.
right. Let's take a look.
Oh,
Oh.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that looks great. Is this?
And I am mostly dressed head to toe.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Oh,
It's just the medallion
yes.
that came with the costume, but there's a little belt here, and then it's a robe with the thing. So yeah, hi.
I
Yeah.
love it.
To be completely 100% transparent, I did not have time to do the ears, so Tommy wins.
That's fine. You still look
No worries.
fantastic. How long did it take for you to do your makeup?
I woke up at 4,
Oh
so
my. Okay.
3 hours.
3 hours.
Mostly because I was fiddling with things. I had to like do a few layers of like figuring out the color, and then the veins I'm really proud of.
Yeah.
All of this. The lipstick. I wanted to do something with the teeth, but actually it works better like this.
Yeah.
So, and then lastly,
you
I'm not sure if you can
great.
tell, but there
Ah,
are red
contacts.
Oh, you
that's
did it!
Oh,
Nice.
that was amazing. I was gonna ask about the eyes too. That is perfect.
yeah, if you can see.
Yeah, we
Guys,
can see
Yeah,
it.
yeah, we can see the
unfortunately,
red.
I actually ordered. It was funny. I ordered red contacts, and they said they were gonna come on Friday or Saturday, like last Friday, Saturday. And then I checked the shipping, which is a good thing I did, because then they said they were arriving next Monday, like tomorrow.
Oh.
And so yesterday, like literally yesterday, I went out and I just went over to the Halloween store and I was like, "Do you have contacts?" They said, "No, this place does." "Do you have contacts?" "Yes."
Oh, good.
They only have cat eyes. I'll take it.
Yeah. No, it works.
But yeah,
Awesome.
here's the thing. And I cheated because I have gloves and
That's
turtleneck and stuff, but still, like,
No, you look great.
yeah. First time really doing a makeup of any sort, so.
I love it.
How are you gonna? You've got the turtleneck and the gloves. How are you gonna survive in the heat?
I was a fan.
So,
And then I will say, you can't really see, but if you can tell, there's a few spots of my skin where it's a little rougher, which is actually liquid latex that's kind of put on to add a little bit more texture, like right there, you can see.
nice.
Yeah.
So there's
Nice.
a little bit of texture to that.
Professional
Because
work.
dark's fun.
Amazing.
Nice.
Love it. Cool. Excellent job, everybody. Excellent job. So take
Let's
notes.
see our illustrious DM.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
did he,
so-
what did he bring?
So I also try to dress up as a character from the campaign as well for Halloween. I'm not promising at all. I never promise that it's anywhere near as extravagant as you guys is, but I did dress up today. So, are there any guesses as to which character I dressed up as this year?
Ignacio. Or Ignaldo, sorry.
Ignaldo, same.
Ignaldo?
Same.
Pyrus.
Pyrus? You think I dressed up as Pyrus? Okay.
I'd be impressed with Pirates.
Please.
Maybe he has like a
on.
bookhead if it exists.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Just,
I honestly
got a
don't
hole in
know.
the
I
book.
just don't know.
Make a guess. Make a guess.
Ignaldo makes the most sense, I guess. Yeah,
Ignaldo. All right.
Ooh.
And Tommy?
I hate to go with the crowd, but Ignaldo, it would just be amazing.
Okay.
All right.
So I agree with you that Ignaldo is probably one of the most fun characters I would have dressed up as. So here's what I dressed up as.
Mr. Bone! Yes.
I
All
100%
hail
approve.
our supreme overlord.
I'm reading your minds right now.
Oh no, that's the worst part.
So you were very close with Pyrus. Very
Oh,
Oh
so
my
close.
god. That is really creepy, actually.
Which makes sense, it is Halloween, so...
Yeah,
Yes.
that looks like an outfit a serial killer would wear.
Well, it works because you can read all of our minds as the DM, and now you're imparting your knowledge into Mr. Bun.
Oh gosh, no, I wish I could. But it'd make things so much easier if I could read your minds, but no. So we're going to jump right to it. But first, I wanted to tell all the viewers all about some of the cool goodies that the players have gotten since they took down the Vin Somer. So first of all, they, of course, got new Dragon Chakra avatar powers. Pasha has... you can explain what you guys have. So, Pasha, what do you have?
Pasha is now Captain America, and she can throw an electrical shield at people and it returns to her hand.
Yes. And she can spend chakra points to increase the number of targets that she can hit, as well as use her chakra points to increase, like, the distance required to get to said targets. So basically, she uses a chakra point to hurl a shield to a target up to 3 yards. She can immediately expend another chakra point to bounce it to another enemy up to 3 yards, away from the first, so it has to chain. But she can also raise the length of the current chain by spending another chakra point. And as long as there is a path back to her, it will always return back to her hand. How about Rousseau?
Yeah, rallying cry. Any ally who can hear you may take advantage on their next attack or skill check. The number of people affected equals the number of chakra points you expend.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
it's pretty decent.
some
Good
good
advantage.
How about, so both Leon and Jeratham gets enlarged spells. Do either of you want to tell us what it is?
For single target spells, we can now spend 2 chakra points to hit an additional target per 2 we spend for single targets. And for AoE spells, they increase their range by 1 square for every 2 chakra points we spend. And both me and Leon really want that. Because I'm a debuffer and he's a buffer. So we
Yes.
do single target.
And last but not least, Skull. What does Tyrion get?
So Tyrion gets the special boomerang ability, boomerang shot ability. So anytime, so when he makes a ranged attack, the item safely returns back to his hand immediately by spending a chakra point. So if I say, for example, take a shot with the sniper rifle, the bullet comes back after being shot.
Yeah.
So I just go up,
Right.
it's back.
It's just like, and it's like caught between and like can put it in his teeth.
Yeah.
Or he has a little string attached to everything, so after it hits the target, he pulls
Yeah,
the string and it pops
yeah,
back.
he just like
That's a long ass string.
It's like Spider-Man, like a spider web that he just kind of pulls back.
No, like every bullet he does now, he has to attach a special string to it. When he takes a shot, all it just is like a little twing, and then it comes back after being used, and somehow gets used again.
In addition to that, all of the characters' abilities deal penetrating damage. The chakra abilities deal penetrating damage. A lot of their damage dies increase from 1d6 to 1d8, and it only requires them to meditate for 5 minutes to unequip and equip other chakras. Before it was like 10 minutes. So it's been reduced by 50%. And lastly, as we saw
We can
from last
become
time,
Durgans.
you can become dragons. Yes. So you have a dragonling form, which is the baby version of a dragon, but still powerful. Their stats, now that the dragon chakra avatars have absorbed 7 dragon breed chakras, they have unlocked the ability to temporarily transform into wormlings by consuming six chakra points as a major action. The stats are below, and the elemental, breath, and resistances are dependent on the breed of dragon you have equipped. Your HP remains the same when you transform. You remain in the wormling form for 10 rounds, or until you dismiss the effects as a minor action. But once you revert back, you cannot turn back into a wormling again until you consume another 6 chakra points. But your stats still, like, most of your stats increase.
Yeah, they become dragon orb.
There are very few, I think depending on the character, there are a few cases where your stat decreases slightly, but overall, your other stats, like...
Magic.
Magic, yeah.
Bite attack, claw attack, yeah. But I mean, when you turn into this form, you're not trying to cast spells. You're probably trying to be more physical.
We're just trying to bite, claw, and do whatever we can as dragon
Breath
forms.
weapons, as well as a fly. You can fly your speed as well.
That means
For
we
10
can all
rounds.
fly in formation and take out the next dragon.
That's
Yeah,
true.
but we need to save up 6 chakra points, which is a lot.
But you can
It is-
store 7. Right.
True.
Yeah.
So, cool. All right. So, let us dive right in. So, you guys are making your way to the Tirashan forest, and I think I asked the players if it's okay if any roleplay. I asked them if there was any role playing they specifically really needed to do that they could not wait till after the Tirashan. Nobody says they needed to do a specific role play, which is good because I really needed to do a little bit of role play with each of you before we hit the Tirashan. So,
Okay.
first of all, let's go to the Caravan, and you will see the biggest change to the Caravan is the addition of a new wagon.
Oh,
Oh,
What is
Violetta.
that?
So Violetta has a new wagon, and
of course.
this is wagon that she ended up acquiring for herself, specifically for this mission. So it looks slightly different from the rest of the circus wagons. You will notice that her wagon is unique in that there is no Bronto pulling it. So it is an enchanted wagon that moves by itself, but the way that it moves by itself is a little creepy because the tires or the wheels of the wagon themselves have attached to them what if you wouldn't think much of it, but if you were looking at it very closely, it's almost like several disembodied human hands, detached hands, were attached to this wheel, and so that they like grab the ground as the wheel turns. So it's almost like the wagon is crawling across the ground.
Nah, it's not creepy. I've seen worse.
With all these disembodied hands. So that's how that thing moves. But the inside is also very Violetta, but we'll get to that if any of you guys end up paying her a visit.
I hope my and Ty are all right.
Yeah, I don't.
No.
I think my entire very not cool with
No.
this. They're not.
No.
They are not.
They're probably just at some points like at the night they're just spilling prune juice
juice.
over on it just to like
They're building a prune juice fountain so that they have a constant supply.
A prune juice plumbing system.
Yeah.
We need a brewmaster. We're gonna need a brewmaster.
There's a whole bunch of plum trees just everywhere now.
Mhm.
There's an entire wagon which is just a greenhouse for just plum trees.
Yeah.
But just before you guys depart from Orlais, Darethim, you're going to have a visit from Darren, actually, Darethim.
Wanted to talk to her anyway.
She seems to... So, you saw her earlier when you guys first arrived at Orlais, that she, had a pack of her things that she, brought with her. Because, as you know, the deal was that she would try to find a new life in Orlais. That was the deal.
Mm-hmm.
She has returned back to speak with you, and she still seems to have the pack on her back. And she says, "So you all are leaving soon?"
Yes, we plan to.
Heading over to the Tirashan forest.
Yeah, to look into something for Leon.
Ah.
After which we'll be, I believe, heading to Ferelden.
And where are you off to after that?
After Ferelden, I don't know. There's been some talk about perhaps going near the Anderfells or even a bit west of there.
Sounds like you all have quite an adventure still left for you.
Yes, indeed. You have, I think, a adventure of your own you're partaking in.
Yes. I was looking around for possible places for me to settle, at least for the time being in Orlais, and I was doing some thinking, Darethim, and while Orlais definitely has its perks, it's a beautiful city, and I mean, the game is something that I actually think I might thrive in, if I wouldn't say so myself.
I would agree with that. You are quite cunning.
I appreciate you saying that, she says, smiling. But part of me just feels like, well, your group is fun, Darethim.
Well, I suppose.
That might be a weird thing to say after we, almost died fighting a high dragon. Not only fighting a high dragon, but hiding a high dragon in a tower. That is several hundred or maybe even thousands of feet from the ground.
It seemed impossibly tall, like...
I don't suppose your group wouldn't mind if I stuck around, at least just for a little longer.
I certainly have no opposition. don't know about the rest.
Be honest with me, Daretham. Do you think Tyrion would mind?
I can't say for sure. I think he would be of two minds of it. From what I've known of him, I think he would either, or it could be both. He would either accept you in hopes to, and use his words, redeem you.
Oh, I hate that word.
Yes. Or he would be hesitant because of his fear of you. Or it could be both.
Well, how about the rest of them?
I don't think Pasha would mind you that much. Leon, he's quite friendly with Tyrion, but I don't think he's inclined towards or against you.
I have noticed that him and Leon have been very close.
Yeah, they seem to be quite good friends. As for Rousseau, I think he would accept you.
Well, in that case, it sounds like majority rules, and even if certain ones would feel uncomfortable with me tagging along, it's a relatively large caravan, and there are multiple wagons, so...
Very true.
Maybe I can bunk with that new girl that joined just recently. That new woman who just joined recently. I think she's...
Violetta, I think, yes.
Yes, the Guardian of Fire. I actually have not met the woman before.
Neither have I.
She's mysterious. And you know how I am about mysterious people.
I have noticed, yes.
And at this point, he would he's had her lord on autopilot, but he says,
Darren, firstly, is there anything else you wish to say?
She kind of laughs and says, I don't know, Daretham. It seems like I always never have a shortage of things to say to you.
Well, I thank you for the company. Do you mind if I...
She says, you're free to do whatever you'd like.
and he would take it off, but I'll just raise it
Yeah,
up because
yeah.
I have hair and Daretham has tentacles. And he kind of looks, and he tries to look at her and see if he can, like, with an empathy, tell if she's
Yeah.
fearful or like flinching or like curious, or
Go ahead, roll.
Wants to know what he's thinking, or what she's thinking. Ooh, that looks good. 16.
Okay, so you don't notice her flinching. However, you do get a sense that she prepped herself for this. And maybe that's why she's not flinching, because she is preparing herself. So you have a feeling that she's still getting used to this whole Daretham's a Darkspawn thing.
Yeah.
Clearly she's not avoiding you, so she's not afraid of you per se, but
Well, okay, so you did say she was a little... Oh, so the edging away wasn't like a permanent thing. It's like she just did that
because she just found out something that...
Got it, okay.
She knew there was something off about you when she saw your eyes. Yeah. But now that it's been completely revealed, she's trying to wrap her head around it. And so it seems she's still wrapping her head around it, but not enough that she's avoiding you. So
got it. Okay. So he would kind of say,
I brought you in with Tyrion to speak with Andrea because the two of you were the ones I trusted to show a glimpse of me. And I did notice the flinch, which frankly is expected. I'm a talking darkspawn. I don't entirely know what my goal here is, but...
And he'll reach down to the handkerchief and it'll slightly float up into his hand, and kind of hold it. It's nowhere near her proficiency level, but it's like starting to get there. And he says,
I, for a long time, thought that I had no, to use Tyrion's word, redemption, no second chance. Even if I were to be, even if I were to complete my vengeance, there'd be no life for me to live. It did change, though, with this. I found this to be almost an opportunity, a hope. And then, well,
and he would look down and like clasp his hand around where his amulet would be if it were hanging around his neck, but it's with Tyrion.
now apparently I am a prototype for the cure of the blight.
So I've heard. And you feel that maybe by doing this, you will finally be able to forgive yourself?
Yes.
Darthim, you, if I understand you correctly, you have been plagued by the idea that you have essentially been used as a tool, as a weapon by the archdemons, the blight, what have you, to do some...
My master.
Your master. Which is actually my point. I know what that's like, to be used as a tool and to be used as a weapon. The difference between you and I, however, is that you did so not necessarily willingly. You were not in your right mind, if I understand how that works. You didn't really have a choice in the matter. I technically had some semblance of will. And the thing is, yes, he had me do some terrible things. And do I feel remorse for them? Sometimes yes, and if I was being honest, sometimes no. Mostly because, well, part of me, I guess, accepted that I was a tool and that I was a weapon, and honestly, it was the only thing that I felt kept me sane while I was doing my job.
You don't have to think.
Exactly.
You heard me when I spoke about Ceres. We lived in Menrathos in the ancient age. There was a small house near the alienage. There was just fire screaming everywhere. The city hadn't been conquered, but we were rampaging the Darkspawn. I remembered a scream. And I looked and saw my family. My father's corpse imploded from my magic. I ripped my mother's heart out with my hands. I crushed Veronia's skull with my staff. And then Ceres. She was 6 at the time. And before
And she can tell, like, he doesn't get green, but she can feel the bile rising in his throat.
Before I ate her, I think she recognized me.
Darren's face. Now, Darren's been known to be very, like... She doesn't get emotional super quickly. But you can see that in her eyes, they are misting. They are starting to well up with tears. She doesn't actually have tears, but you can see that something's going on in her eyes, where you can really feel like it's affecting her. And she reflexively actually takes a hold of your hand and gives it a squeeze.
He would also reflexively start to flinch back, but seeing that he would, and he still has a glove and bandages on, but he would like very, very slowly just clasp and squeeze back. And he would squeeze a little hard to like, not to hurt or anything painful, but she would notice it's almost like leaning on her. And then he would say,
I know that Dumont killed them. But I can still taste her blood on my mouth.
Darren's clothing, normally just even when she's doing nothing, it has this like natural life to it, like again flittering around even when there isn't any wind or any breeze or anything. But visually you can kind of see her clothing like droop, like as if it's hanging its head. The cloth itself is hanging its head. Yes.
Yeah, I think also maybe in unison, the handkerchief that's maybe clasped around their conjoined hands is like slightly dripping too. And he says,
You know, it was Pasha who helped the most, I think. Everyone helped, but you and Rousseau for not killing me. Oh, I killed his mother, apparently, too.
Ah, I see. I'm sure that made things very awkward.
He has a good grip.
Thank you, Daretham, for telling me this. I'm sure it was not something that you care to relive over and over again.
Besides the few details, I've told no one else everything.
I cannot say that I know how it feels to be in your position. Most people probably can't. But I will say that if it helps you, because I think it would, to have somebody available to listen if you do want to talk about it, maybe not in heavy details, I'll be around. I'm not sure if I can give you any advice or anything that can raise pearls of wisdom, but if there's anything I can do to help you solve this cure thing that you're trying to do for yourself, I would be more than happy to assist.
and he would look up, and the red eyes would meet her, and even though there's like no real pupil in them besides what I cosplaying, because I'd be blind otherwise, she can kind of see that there's a just a gratitude and like a sincerity in his eyes, and he would just say,
Thank you. And in terms of the words, Veronica said much the same, but to use my own sister's words, sometimes the best thing to help is just a good hug.
With that, she will pause for a moment and then she will move towards you for a hug.
and he was not expecting that, but he like again initially flinches back, but then will just remember he's taking his shot.
Right.
He's good, so he will slowly nod his head.
Yeah, and again, it's a friendly hug. You know, she goes in and she gives you a friendly hug, and it almost, no, not almost seems, it actually some of her like clothing wraps around you a little bit as well, like almost in a protective cocoon, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't linger for too long, but for the few seconds.
And
Go
as
ahead.
soon as she pulls back, he would pull back as well. But if like there's a shot on his face, like as they hug, his eyes would be closed, and you could see the tension in his body just ever so slightly relax as it's his first hug in at least 1,200 years. And I would say like maybe one of his hands also would like you know that thing where like you kind of like trail a little bit as you separate, like one of his hands would trail it a little bit,
Okay.
and he would just smile. If it whatever the darkspawn version of a blush is, that's happening right now a little bit, and she can notice he's not bringing it up at all, but she can notice that, and then he says,
Thank you. I didn't realize how much I needed that.
She'll just nod and say, well, thank you for giving me a few reasons to stick around.
Anytime. And if the other person to you as well, if you need someone to listen, I can always have an ear.
I appreciate that, Dartham. And with that, she'll give your hand another squeeze before she pulls away. And it's one of those things where, like, they pull away and, like, the hand just kind of delicately, as she, like, waves and then glides off.
yeah, and Darren would kind of walk off, and there'd be a few seconds before Darren just starts he's like has kind of not dazed, but like almost just daydreaming smile on his face, just a very small smile, and then his eyes would widen and we'd go, fuck, shit, no, fuck, no, and and in his head he's going, I had a plan. I was going to say that I could die from this cure, and I don't want to go any further, so I don't want to break your heart. But now this shit.
I'm going to say that in your head, you hear Bomb's voice say, I'm not saying anything. I didn't say anything.
Shut up. Shut up. God damn it. Do not silence you.
All right. Awesome.
Woman, fucking sister is going to
And he just is grumbling as he walks off.
I love it.
But there's a smile on his face the whole time.
Meanwhile, Russo. So, Russo, as you guys are getting ready to depart, Violetta has introduced herself to Balin, and he seems to immediately take a liking to her somehow. It's weird. It's almost like they knew each other in a previous life. But yeah.
Yeah, it's strange how that is.
It's strange how that is. But he seems to bond with her fairly quickly, and you'll probably notice that his eyes immediately lands on the bracer, and she explains to him, one of these days, Balin, you will be able to wield such a thing. Not now, however, but it will come. The day will come. And Balin says, it's so pretty, and if I have it, then I can throw fireballs at people. And she says, yes, it is true, you can do that, but she says, you have to understand, Balin, that life as a guardian is not just about hurling fire at people left and right. There's a lot of responsibility with it as well. Sort of like your father, I believe. He can't just go around getting random people locked up willy-nilly. There's a responsibility to his job. And, she's just kind of explaining things to him, and he asks more questions, and he says, can I at least touch it? And she says, yes, I think you can at least touch it, only for a moment. And he reaches over to touch the bracer, and the ruby on the bracer starts to glow slightly. And I think, Russo, you can notice at the fingertips of Balin's hands, you'll see little sparks, like almost like sparkler sparks forming at his fingertips. I'm going to say that Violetta notices that for a moment, and then she will slowly pull away. And she says, "We'll talk again tomorrow, Balin. For right now, why don't you run along and play?" And Balin will nod and scamper off, but he kind of still looks over his shoulder back at the bracer as he's leaving.
You might have to lock that.
I'm gonna say that she turns towards you, and she actually still has her voodoo doll in her hand, and she kind of is just, stroking it like she would a cat. She's just stroking it in front of her. "Mr. Alren," she says, "you have quite a young man that you're raising over there."
I've done my best with him, though. This is something that I'm a little jealous of him in, actually.
Oh?
This chakra thing that we've been going through, I really had no ambition ever of knowing magic, because I'd never really been around it outside of a few times. I guess he at least gets to ease into it. This is my biggest, not really content, but a little jealous.
You wish that you would have been able to be prompted for something like this instead of having it thrusted upon you?
Well, let's just say when your feet stay firmly on the ground, then one day you fly because a dragon attacks you. It's a little jarring.
I can understand that, she says. Many people fear what they don't understand, or are uneased by magic in general. My line of magic in particular, believe me, I know about people being uneased by such things.
How does it work, if you don't mind me asking?
Magic in general? Or...
A little bit of yes to both, but mostly yours. I've never seen it like that.
I specialize in a branch of magic called hex magic. In the simplest terms, a lot of what I do helps to debuff enemies if we're in a fight. But in addition to that, there is quite a interesting and intricate art when it comes to curses and the likes. So many of the things that I specialize is not only in the curses themselves, but also finding ways to break said curses. Which reminds me, she says, word on the street says you all are making your way into the Tirashan woods.
Yes, that was Leon's stop in our venture.
Are you aware that those are known to be one of the most cursed woods in all of Thetis?
Newly informed. I guess it's a good thing you're coming along.
Oh, she says, am I coming into the woods with you as well?
We'd have to talk you with the group, but it couldn't hurt to have someone who knows the territory.
As much as that does make a lot of sense, I made a promise and an agreement with the rest of the Guardians that my sole purpose was to watch over the young Balin. And unless you're planning on dragging your son along into the woods, which I do not advise, I think it would probably be best for me to stay behind and keep an eye on him for you.
Fair enough.
Out of character, she's not a party member, I'm sorry.
Okay.
She's a Cullen or in Inquisition, she's a Cullen and a Liliana.
Yeah, just stays at the war table.
She's the advisory board. She's like, I'm here to look cool and be fabulous and not help you at all.
Yes, exactly. Not help you at all.
She's just a trainer to Balin, and that's
Right.
it.
Yeah, she's the trainers we summon in Skyhold.
But that's not to say that I can't advise you. Yes, exactly. That's not to say I can't advise you.
Any recommendations on prepping to go into a place like that?
I have made my way into those woods a couple times. The veil there is particularly thin, which means that it became increasingly so volatile, let's say, since the rift opened up 10 years ago. There are many cases of people who have wandered into the Tirashan woods and found themselves eternally lost until they died of starvation.
So, bring extra rations. Got it.
All I'm going to say is that a lot of things in those forests are not completely what they appear. And navigating through them, if you find yourself going around in circles, it's probably not your imagination.
Okay. I feel more prepared. Thank you. You said you can identify curses, correct?
Yes, it is my specialty, yes.
Could you look at me and make sure I didn't become cursed when I got this?
Of course, she says. And she will reach towards your hair, and almost as if she's about to pluck one, and she says, "May I?"
I've got plenty of it, go ahead.
She'll just quickly pluck it, and then she will take a pin and pin the hair on the top of her voodoo doll. And then she will take a pin from her hair, and then start poking it in various different places. And it's not painful, but it feels almost like the sensation that you would get like if your arm starts falling asleep slightly. Like different parts of your body falls asleep just for a few seconds, and then it reverts back. And it always corresponds to the limbs that she's poking at with her pin. When she finishes that, she says, I am happy to report that I was not able to identify any curses on you, young man.
Whew. Thank you. I was a little worried about that for a while, just haven't really talked to anyone.
I do, however, am sensing something very curious about your weapon there, though, she says, pointing at the hammer.
Oh, this?
Indeed.
What? Or do you need a better look?
If you wouldn't mind.
Given to me by the queen herself, and I'll just take it off and hold it out.
She says, the queen herself? You mean Empress Celine?
No, Queen Antona. I'm Navarin.
Oh. At that point she was, oh, Queen Antonia. I see. And then she just kind of starts rubbing her chin again. Well, Antonia, let's see what we have here. And she takes out from her pack what looks like a crystal ball of some sort. And then she sort of passes her hands through it, and it immediately starts to fog up with a violet haze, a violet fog. And she kind of passes the crystal ball across the hammer. And she says, as I suspected, there's a sensor on this thing. It's very subtle. Only a trained eye might be able to catch a sight of it, but it is indeed there. How long ago did she give this to you?
Right before we left Navarra. We've had it maybe a few weeks.
I am assuming that you would not particularly care for her to listen in to private conversations.
No. Most definitely not.
Would you like for me to remove said Censor.
What would that take?
She says, it'll probably just take me a few hours. Probably by the end of the day, definitely. It's a particularly powerful enchantment, but nothing that I cannot undone without damaging the rest of the weapon.
That shrewd queen. Okay, take as long as you need with it. I fear she's gotten more than she already should have out of it.
I will definitely take note the next time I pay Navara a visit, she says.
Alright, well, I do want to take some time to walk with my boy to see if he's doing any better from the couple nights. Do you need anything else, Violetta?
Not from you, no. I will say, though, Mr. Russo, Mr. Alren, she says, between you and I don't blame you for trying to hide your son.
You don't?
She shakes her head. No. I, didn't have children of my own, but I've been very close to, one of the other guardians who has been very protective of their child.
I see.
I believe that given the same circumstances, that particular guardian probably would have struggled with revealing their child as well.
I was mostly just scared that I'd never see him again.
I can't promise that that wouldn't have been the case, but you seem to me like you are a good man. And so chances are we would have come to some sort of an understanding, like we are now.
Well, I'm glad that it did, and he's got a whole lifetime to get to where he needs to be with it. Thanks for not judging me.
She will smile and say, I thank you for doing the same for me as well.
I'll give a small nod and then slowly go do like the more formal handshake thing 'cause she's used to that, and then leave to go walk with Balin.
She'll give you a handshake, and as you go off, the Balin says, oh, and before I forget, just to make sure that we establish 100% transparency and trust, she unpins the piece of hair from the doll, and she hands you the hair strand. Just so you don't think that I'm messing around with it in my wagon, as tempting as that can be sometimes. She hands you your hair strand back.
Thanks. I'll kind of just ball it up and put it in my pocket.
Have a good rest of your day, Mr. Rousseau. Don't hesitate to come visit my wagon at any time if you could use my services.
I think we're going to get to know each other very well.
She'll give you a warm smile, and she'll give you a very Antivan ta-ta kind of wave. I can't do it very well as she can, but with that, she will walk back to her wagon. Okay. Traveling to the Tirashan forest doesn't take too much time, but at some halfway point, the wagons are going to take a pit stop somewhere, and several of the people are going to go around stretching their legs. During this time, Leon, you catch a sight of, well, this probably catches your eye because I don't think you've noticed any other character doing this, but Rosie is currently looking at some plants. She seems to be almost studying some plants right now, off to the side, near the edge of the woods.
Just from a spot, can I see what type of plants they are?
Roll me do you have a cunning, like, botany or anything of those? I would think you would have, like, something along the lines of botany or herbology or something like that,
Yeah.
right?
Does natural lore come into that? Because I don't
Yeah,
know
I
if
would say
there's
so.
a.
Yes, I would
Okay.
say so. Yes.
Cool. That is 16.
Oh, yes. Yes. So, what she is studying is a rash vine nettle.
Rash vine nettle. Oh, I'm guessing by the name, it'll cause rashes if you touch it.
Yes. It is in the Dragon Age lore, it is a rare herb. And with a 16, they are used in specific types of lyrium potion, mighty offense tonic, rock armor tonic, and the poison Tears of the Dead.
Ooh. I'm gonna pop up next to Rosie and be like, "Huh, seems like you found a pretty rare herb over there."
She turns, and as soon as she sees Leon, because she had this, like, very focused, like, not stoic, but it's like a very focused look on her face, and as soon as she turns to you, she immediately smiles, and she says, oh, hi, Leon. Why, yes, don't mind me. I didn't wander off too far from the caravan, did I?
Oh, no, I'm actually glad that you pointed out this nice plant. It's a rash vine nettle.
Yes, she says. I was considering taking some back for my dad. I'm sure he might be able to use it for something. Some of his potions.
You said he was pretty proficient in poisons, right?
Did I say that? Yes, he knows a thing or two about poisons.
Isn't this used in the Tears of the Dead?
Wow, Leon, she says, you definitely know your poisonous plant.
Well, I mostly know it because of Mighty Offense tonic and Rock Armor tonic I would generally use it in.
Well, she says, yeah, I have made it a point to keep an eye on certain flora during my travels, in hopes that I might collect some rarities that my dad would appreciate. Are you into plants too? She asks.
It's basically my whole thesis, and I've been living in this forest that we're going to most of my formative years, so I'm okay at plants.
Really? She says, maybe I could read your thesis.
Oh, it's well, not done yet and very rough. Still have a few journals I need to compile into like an actual paper, and that's going to take a while. But with Sir Wet Blanket over there, he's going to probably prevent me from doing a lot of that.
Oh, him. Yeah, that Templar guy. I've interacted with him a few times. He was nice to me, but I don't know. There's just something about him that just... I just can't put my finger on it, but he acts very polite. I don't know.
It's that, like self-righteous sort of taste in your mouth, and then the like way too confident in himself.
Yeah, I definitely think you and I are on the same wavelength there.
Yeah, and now he's making me, do these exercises that I thought I'd be free of from the tower, but well, but plants are fun.
Well, if he gives you too much trouble, just let me know, and maybe I might be able to talk to him for a little bit.
Oh, that'd be nice. I don't think it's gotten to that point yet, but we'll see. And I do thank you for the extra the extra bits, so that if things get too rough.
I'm just looking out for you, buddy, she says as she gives you a playful punch on the shoulder.
Heyo.
She kind of trails off a little bit.
Man, yeah. Sorry about what was going on in Norway. Seems like you were put between a rock and a hard place through a lot of this adventure.
Yeah, it was tough, 'cause you have to understand, the Guardians are my family. I mean,
Yeah, your dad. And
not only that, but I kind of see the rest of them as my aunts and uncles, you know? So, keeping secrets from them, especially something that arguably is really important, was not a position that I really wanted to be in.
yeah, I'm sorry for asking you to do that. I didn't realize that. Well, Balin's a part of their soul. That's pretty rough. And keeping that from them, it didn't feel good afterwards. And I'm sorry I had to put you in that position.
She kind of shrugs a little bit and says, it's okay, Leon. I could never be mad at you.
Oh, man. That's reassuring. But, I mean, I'm sure we'll find a lot of interesting plants we'll be able to find as well in the forest that we're going to.
Actually, I was, now that you mention it, there are a lot of really interesting plants in there that would be really cool if you ever to bring some back. If I gave you a list.
Are you not coming with us into the forest?
Am I coming with you guys? She says, her eyes kind of light up.
I mean, I'd expect so. I mean, how else are you going to help identify some useful plants, especially for your...
That would be great if I can come with, sure.
Yeah, it'd be nice to, actually talk to someone about plants.
Yeah, she says most people that I end up interacting with, they don't particularly care for them unless they have really beautiful flowers. And I do like beautiful flowers, they're just not always the most practical things.
Yeah, no, I get you. And they're only a method of spreading their seed a little bit further, but yet people use them as a form of affection.
Yeah, affection. She blushes a little bit at that.
Leon's going to continue on, not realizing. But yeah, are there any specific plants that you're looking for?
Well, she says, I believe that some of the plants that grow there naturally are ghoul's beard, black lotus, amaridivane, and if we're lucky, maybe even some philanderis.
Oh, those are all along the poison tree line.
Well, to be fair, those are the ones that my dad was the most knowledgeable of, and therefore I know a little bit more about them as well.
Okay, well, I know a few locations where they could grow, but I mean, the Caravan forest is large, and if you lose the path, it could get a little difficult to come back on. So yeah, let's definitely keep an eye out for them. And I know of a few good places, like there's a lake where we can probably find some lotuses. Yeah.
Oh wow, I'd love to go check out the lake.
Yeah, it's just a little bit a ways from my parents' house. Fresh water's always nice.
She's going to chuckle a little bit. So, are we really going back to your old house?
Well, what's left of it. It sort of is dilapidated. Well, it didn't survive very long after we left, I expect.
Her expression on her face changes to that of deep concern, and she says, do you think you're going to be okay seeing it again?
Well, I've thought about it a lot, and, well, it will be a little harder, especially with Sir Parent Killer over there, but I'm ready to face it. It's been a while. I want to go back.
She'll nod quietly and she'll say, well, I guess if you do see it, just try to focus on the good memories, not the bad.
Yeah, I've had lots of great experiences running through the forest and just, being a kid. it's a little hard to run and jump in the tower.
Yeah, she'll say, I'm sure there'll be some wave of nostalgia, hopefully, in a good way.
Yeah, and I also want to look through my parents' old library. I'm sure they have at least a journal or something I can order them from.
Well, like I said, if I come with, I definitely will be more than happy to help where I can.
Yeah, I'll be glad to have you if you. I mean, if you want to come.
I would love to.
then let's plan on it.
She says, awesome, buddy, and she just gives you an awkward punch on the shoulder again.
Yeah, well, thanks, Rosie.
She says, yeah, you're welcome. Leon, she says, and suddenly you hear a voice, Mr. Faust! Like, right with... And...
Leon's face sort of, just, the face, and then turns around. Yes, Sir Garrison, sir.
He kind of smiles at that and says, almost as if to say, looks like my training is succeeding as planned, blah, blah, blah. So he says, I've just wanted to make sure that you didn't stray off too far from, Miss Solney. And she says, why, hello there, Sir Garrison. I was just talking to Leon just now about some research for his thesis. He's been taking this whole expedition very seriously and has not done anything wrong whatsoever, I swear.
Oh, yes. Rosie's also been very helpful in finding and identifying plants. For instance, this rash vine nettle, very useful, especially towards very useful potions and concoctions and other interesting properties.
Well, I see. Well, I'm glad that you and Miss Solney are conducting your research as responsibly as you can. Good. Very good, he says. I think that I approve. You two should spend more time together. Maybe Rosie would her knowledge will rub off on you as well.
Oh, yes. We're planning on going to the forest, and I was hoping to bring Rosie along on our expedition.
I think that would be a grand idea, he says.
Are you expecting to go into the forest? I know, with your Templar armor, it'll be very rough terrain, and I would hate to see anything get dented or sullied. And there's going to be a lot of plants. I don't know if you'll be able to identify everything, or forage for food, or being able to tell what's poisonous or not. Like, for instance, this rash vine nettle, if you accidentally brush it, it could cause, serious rashes.
Reflexively, you can see Sir Garrison start to scratch his arm a little bit, reflexively, and he says, it is my duty as your Templar to follow you wherever you go, so yes, I should be accompanying you into the forest. And he's still sort of scratching himself.
Alternatively, I heard Violetta is very into some, magical secrets. Do you think she'll be safe by herself out here, and especially with all that magic? Have you seen her hand thing?
Yes, the presence of the Guardian Fire is... She's an unexpected member of our caravan, but however, she also, as I said, is a guardian and fellow colleague of the Vigilant. Therefore, she is not of my specific concern. I was not sent here to watch her, I was sent here to watch you, Mr. Faust.
I mean, I expect you to take your duty very seriously, but I mean, it's just a quick pop in, quick pop out of the forest, and it's going to be very boring. And I don't know how it's not going to be very exciting, I hope.
Out of character, roll a persuasion? Communication persuasion, I think.
Nice.
You are correct.
And Rosie is going to assist.
19.
Yes.
19 without the assist already.
Yeah.
So
All right. Even
if
without
the assist is like +2, that's
21.
21. She'll say, Mr. Garrison, I know that you're very concerned, but if I go, I'll definitely make sure I keep an extra eye out for Leon. I promise that, nothing bad will happen to him. And so yeah, she got a 16, so add a +2, so that's a 21. Mr. Garrison, he hesitates for a bit. I still feel like it would be very irresponsible of me to not accompany you into the forest. But if the group decides that there would be too many people going into the woods at once, then I suppose for this one mission I can allow you to go off.
Oh, why, thank you. It'll greatly help my research, being able to just immerse myself in the environment.
He'll continue to scratch his arm, and part of you is what probably feels like it's, again, from based on what Nazim told you, he was very allergic to a lot of the nuts that were in the forest, and so maybe part of him was like, maybe it's better for me to not to go into this, but he was very uneased. So he will say, very well then, we should probably get back to the caravan. Don't you think so? Don't you think so, Miss Solney? Yeah, back to the caravan sounds great.
Yes. We still have training this evening, don't we? Yes, training this evening. Yes.
Of course. And let me just finish up harvesting this rash vine nettle, and I'll meet you guys there.
Be careful of its roots, he says as he walks off.
She'll nod and she'll go back to harvesting the nettle. Good lord, even Sir Garrison is shipping these two.
Oh no.
Yeah. He's redeemed himself. He's
Okay.
Man, a lot of progress on
this
the
part is just gonna be titled "All the Romances," right? That's what's happening.